AutoCAD is about creating, editing, and displaying information. Many times that is building information. Now, the drawings we create demonstrate how to build something. From that data, we can determine the type and amount of materials that we need for construction. Let's open up the movie house drawing file. In this file, we see that we have the basic drawing for a small movie house. Now, there's not a lot here, but imagine if it was on a much grander scale. Maybe there were 12 buildings that we were working on, all of various shapes and sizes, and we needed to construct a bill of material or just an item count. Now, we can do that by just going through and counting each number or each sheet or each item. So we can count all the different hedges, all the different chairs, the doors, etc. But we can use what's called the data extraction tool inside AutoCAD to count things for us. And I'm going to show you some things here very quickly of what it can do. Now to help, I'm going to isolate some layers. I'm going to look at just the walls and let's isolate them. I'm also going to explode them. Now let's say we need a total wall length of materials. Now we can measure all of these and add them all up. That's one way to do it. In this case, it's very simple, so it's something we could do easily. But if we have a larger scale of walls, a lot more of them, it would be much more difficult. So I'm going to show you a way to count the length of the walls very quickly. So you can type in this command called eattext, E-A-T-T-E-X-T. You can also type in a data extraction, but eattext is a lot more fun. They'll both get you to the same thing. Now this is the data extraction tool. You have to set up a couple of things here. First, we have to create a new data extraction file. Click Next. I'm going to call this one moviehouse-walls, and it creates a .dxe file. So we're going to save that. Now what we can do here is go through everything in the file, or we can just pick some very specific things. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to say select objects in the current drawing, select these walls, press Enter, click Next. Now what we have selected here are line objects, and this is what it's telling us. Okay, that's great. Click Next. And now we have to select what we want to know. Well, as you can see, this is a lot of information here, and I don't want to see all of that. So if I right click in here and I select the uncheck all button, it's going to turn everything off. So right now it's not going to include anything, but we have to include something or else we can't go on. Now, if you turn off these different boxes here, it will only show you specific things, and they're all related in different categories. These are 3D visualization items, basic drawing information, a general category, and geometry. Well, in this case, we definitely want geometry and we want the lengths of the walls. Now you'll notice in the drawing that the walls go all the way around. It's left and right here, up and down. So if we get our total length and then divide it by 2, that'll show us our actual length for our walls, our linear foot. So that's what I'm going to do. Select the length, click Next. Now this is going to tell us here what we have. It sort of puts it in a spreadsheet. It tells us I have one item that's a line that it's this long. So it breaks it down. I have one line that's 8 inches, etc. Now I can combine identical rows if you want to. That's fine. And you'll see here it's counting up. I have 12 8-inch long walls, 4 7-foot 6-inch walls. We can do that if we want to. But what I'm trying to do is quickly add up all of these items together. So I'm going to turn that off. Now, I don't need the name because I know these are all lines. I just need the length. So these are all of the lengths that I have in what I've selected. Now I'm going to click Next. Now I can insert the data right into a table in my drawing if I want, or I can export it to an XLS, CSV, or one of these other types of files. Well, I'm just going to put it into my drawing right here. Click Next. It's going to put it into a table for me. I click Next and click Finish. And then I click a point in my file. And it has all of these links right here set up for me. What I can do here very quickly is edit this table, right click, insert a row below it, click in this box, and then I need to unlock my data. So I'm going to unlock it. Now that I've unlocked all these cells, I'm going to pick in this cell right here, go to my formula, pick on sum, I pick my first box here, I pick this cell right here, and it creates this selection window. I'm going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to pick all of these cells in this column and it adds them all up for me, just like it would in Excel. Press Enter, and that's my total length. Now, if I just divide that by 2, I know my perimeter length of my wall. So that's just one quick example of how you can extract geometry. Now, you can also extract things like XYZ coordinates, items off of a layer, or you can look at different blocks. So if I type in eat text again, let's create a new one. I'm just going to call it movie house. Save over my first example file that I used, and I'm going to select objects. This time I'm just going to pick my blocks here. I want to know how many chairs, I want to know how many different walls, and I want to know the amount of doors and windows. So I can go and pick all of these individually, but if I have so few that I can pick them all, then I probably don't need to be using this. So if I just go and I select everything, press enter, go to next, press enter, and I go to settings. So now that I've selected everything, I click next, and I have a couple of options here. I can display all objects, or I can just look at the blocks. I'm going to ignore everything else, all my lines and hatches. I'm just going to look at the blocks. This is all I want. I want to know how many chairs, how many doors, how many plants, and how many windows. Click next, right click this, and uncheck everything. And since I have to have something in here, I'm just going to pick color. Click next, and this is going to give me my information, my color, my name, and my count. Well, I want to show the color because I don't have a choice. I want to combine all my identical rows in this time because I need a count. How many chairs are there? There are 25. There are 5 doors, 5 plants, and 3 windows. I definitely want to show the name column. I definitely want to show the count column. So I go next. I'm going to insert it as a table into this drawing as well. Click next again, and then finish, and then insert right there. And so now I've created this table. Of course, I can go in here and delete that column all I want, and I have this set up. And it's a quick way to count things, to get your start on your bill of materials, your quantities, markups, whatever it is that you're trying to make. The eat text command or the data extraction command are the same thing, can count your things and get a lot of information en masse about your drawing very quickly.